Hello friends, welcome to my channel on Dynamics 365 F&O solutions. In this session, I'm going to cover about item price, item model, and show some transaction that impacts because of item model and item price. Okay, now let me get into the application. Okay, now I'm going to show you the item price related transactions, especially in a purchase order. In my previous session, I had talked about item price setup from scratch. I had demonstrated how to set up item price from scratch, and also said that it impacts your purchase receipts and ledger booking depending on the item price and costing type you choose. Now, I want to show you an example and now relate to the item price that we have set up for each of the products. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you these are the three products I have defined. Each of them are having a different item model. For example, P0002 has got a item price with FIFO model. No, it is standard cost. Look at this. So it has got a standard cost model. So next is P002 has got a standard cost model, and P004, what I've done is I've set up a LIFO item model. So inventory costing model, I've set it as LIFO. Okay, and then the next is the P3002. I have set this item with the item model group standard cost. Okay, I'm sorry, this is FIFO. I've set it up as FIFO. Now, I have three different items, each of them with a different item model. The first one is standard cost. Here you see that it's standard cost. And the second one is LIFO, and third P3002, I have set it up as FIFO. Now, I want to show you how the item price has been defined for each of them. Now, let me take the item price for P002. I've set up an item price. This is a okay. So this is a standard cost. I have set this item as standard cost. Now, I've given only one price, which is a standard cost. So this is the cost which will be posted into my ledger for all issues, okay, in my purchase order, or sorry, for receipts in my purchase order transaction. Okay. Now I go to the next one. Okay. Here I have set up an item price. Here what I've done is I have set up a planned cost, and I have put a purchase price. I've added a price of 222, and for purchase line items I've added a price of 202, and for sales price I've given 252. Now look at these, all of them are planned cost. There is no standard cost here. The reason I have mentioned this as planned cost is it is still, I'm still in the planning stage. I'm not at arrived at my standard cost. So costing type planned cost is usually used for forecasting or for simulation before you finalize your standard cost. So that's where we can use costing type as planned costs. Once you firm it up, you can change the costing type as standard costs and then use that as a standard costing for all your receipt transactions related to this item. Okay. Now I'm going to show you transactions for each of them and see how it impacts. So look at the price here. The cost price is 222. The purchase price is 202, and the sales price is 252. Now, when I create a transaction for P004, I'll show you what cost will be hit in the what cost will hit the ledger. Okay, when I do a posting or the product receipt. Now I go to the next item. Okay, the next item is P3302. Here I've used a FIFO. Okay, as I showed you earlier, it's a FIFO. Now I'll show the item price for this also. So again, here look at it. Here the purchase price is 177 and the cost price is 151. Sales price is 202. So just to give a heads up, what is purchase price? Purchase price is the price that gets defaulted in your purchase line when you create a PO and you add this item in your purchase line, PO line. Okay. What is cost price? Cost price is actually the cost attached to your this item, and it is actually the costing booked when you receive the item in the inventory. So it is the inventory cost, that is what is 151. Okay. Now the sales price. What is sales price? Sales price is the price of this item when you add this item in a sales order line. Okay. So now let's see how the transactions are created when I create a purchase order. So I'm not going to create the purchase order from scratch. I want to show you already created purchase orders. I will be covering purchase order in detail. Then I'll take you through the steps from the beginning to the end. Now I already created purchase orders for each of the items. Now let me take this one. Okay, let's see what is the line item for this. Okay, here the item I used is P002. So let me go to the P002 and look at this. The unit price, what I've given is 175 here. Okay. Now we go to P002. P002. So the purchase line is 175. Okay. So this has got a defaulted here. Okay. I'm not disturbing that. So this is what it is. Whereas now let's see. So now I have received this. I already received this item in my inventory, and I'll show you what is the product receipt journal that has been created for this item. Okay, look at this. This is the receipt which has been created for this purchase order, and then I'll go show you the vouchers. The vouchers is what is the ledger posting. Now look at this. This is actually the purchase order line shows 175 because I marked the purchase order line as 175. Okay. Now I'll show you. Sorry about that. So this is the price which is mentioned in my purchase cost tab of this item. But look at this item price. The item price is 180. As I mentioned, it's the standard cost model. The item price will always be 180. It's a firmed up. So this is the item price. Whereas in my purchase order, what has happened is let me pull that. Okay. Okay. So this has got defaulted from my release product purchase fast tab. But when I go to product receipt journal, okay, look at this. It has booked as 180. Okay. The reason is that even though my purchase line, okay, in my purchase line it is 175, but the cost of the inventory is booked as 180 because I have set this as 180 here, because my item, which is P0002, is mapped to a item model group called standard cost. If you look at, if you recollect, I have set it up item P002 as standard cost. Okay, so that's the reason. Always, no matter whatever be the purchase line cost, price of this item will always be booked as the one which has been mentioned in my item price against the costing type standard cost. So that's the difference between a standard cost and purchase price. So now I'll show you the next transaction that will be more clear, and you'll see the difference. Okay, so that's the reason my voucher has been the cost of inventory is actually picked up from this tab. Okay, in my item price, even though my purchase line item says the cost, the price is 175, but the actual inventory cost is 180 rupees, because my item is having a item model group with the inventory costing model as standard cost. Okay, now what is this purchase? There's a new posting done here. What is this? You see this, there is a 5 rupees difference because my purchase price is 175, but I'm going to book this inventory cost as 180. There's a difference of 5. So that's the reason it has booked one more transaction and posted one line against a purchase price variance, and it has booked it under a ledger account 310161, and this is a purchase price variance account. So standard cost is, even though I'm going to make it as 175, my cost of inventory is always 180, but there's a difference. The accounting has to tally. If I just mark 180 and 175, the account is not tallied. That's the reason there is a variance of your purchase price. Hey, your standard cost for the purchase item is $180, but you are selling it as 175. But I'm going to book it under standard cost because my inventory model is standard cost. But I need to show the difference. What is the difference? I'll book that difference under purchase price variance. So now it tallies. So credit is 180, and then now debit is 180. So it matches now. Okay. So now I will take you through this accounting basics and why these transactions are booked, how to understand these transactions. Okay. My next section is going to be on accountings, and I will take you through the steps, from the basic steps to how to understand ERP accounting. Okay. Now let me go to the next purchase order. Okay. Now let me go to the next purchase order. This is P004. Now the unit price is 215, and if you look at, this is I mapped this item with a LIFO item model group. Okay. Now let's look at the product receipt journal for this item. Okay. So vouchers. So it has booked 215 because whatever is there in the purchase line, it has picked up that as a cost of inventory. So that's the difference. In LIFO or FIFO, whatever you add in your purchase line, that will be used as the cost for your inventory for that particular item. Whereas in standard cost, whatever price you add in purchase line, it may not be used because you are using a standard cost. In case of standard cost, it will use the cost which has been mapped in your item price for that item against the standard cost. Now, this is the difference between the posting of inventory cost for an item with FIFO, LIFO vis-a-vis an item with standard cost. Okay. Now, let me show you one more thing. Okay. For this item, let me go to this is a P00. Okay, let me go to the, okay, this is a P0004 item. Now let's go to the item price for this. Okay, let me go to the item price for this item. Now look at this. In my purchase, I have mentioned it as 202. Ideally, now this will get defaulted when I create a purchase line. But however, what I did is I changed it to 215. I changed it to 215 in my purchase line, and that is what is booked in my product receipt posting. Look at this, 215. It is not 202 like you see here. It is 215, which is actually picked up from my purchase line. So similarly, the same scenario applies for FIFO. Okay, I can show you that also. Okay, let me go to the next one. Is the item P3002, and here the unit price, I have changed the unit price after it defaulted. Let me add, I'll show you one. Okay, let's see, I pick this. Okay, so now look at this. It's actually it is defaulted 177. Okay, how did it pick up 177? It is because in my item purchase order line are given as 177. Okay, that's the reason it has picked 177. But what I've done is I have changed it to 185. Now let me remove this. I just want to show you for demo purpose. But now look at this. I already create a purchase receipt for this PO, and it will show a cost 185. So here, if you see that it has picked up from my purchase order line. Okay, so to summarize, whether it is LIFO or FIFO, the cost of the item will be booked that is mentioned in your purchase line, whereas standard cost based items, when you say standard cost, when your item model group has got a inventory costing model as standard cost, but those, whatever you add in your purchase line, the cost or the cost whatever cost you add in your purchase line will not be used for costing your inventory, whereas it will use the cost which you are mentioned in your item price of your item model group. Okay, I hope this is clarifying the concept of item price, item model group, and you will be able to understand when we have to use standard cost and when we have to use LIFO and when we have to use FIFO. So we normally use the standard cost when you have arrived at the standard cost of your items, and you no longer want to change the cost of the item. You want to keep it fixed for a period of time. In future, if you want to change it, you can again go to item price, and you can define a new standard cost for the item. Okay, and similarly, the planned cost is used as a simulation. Means that you are yet to arrive at the final price of the item. So you can use planned cost for that. So that's the end of this session, and I'll soon now show you an explanation of all this costing and all this ledger posting related information. When I walk you through that, you will be able to understand why these two entries are added, and why the signs are different for each of these transactions and postings. Okay, so that's the end of the session. Thank you so much. I hope this session was useful, and you'll be able to decide when you define a item price, when you define item model group for your application setup, and based on your customer need, you can set up the item model group as per the business need. Okay, thank you again. Stay tuned to my channel and look for the next video on accounting basics. Till then, see you. Bye.